Aliens begged, and Deathworlders took action. Part 1. The alarm rang across the Velen homeworld. Red lights flashed in every city, every street, every home. Elder Pavalon stood at the command center window, watching his people run in panic. 3 more colonies had fallen today. 3 more worlds went silent. The Ravagers were coming closer. "How many ships do we have left?" Pavalon asked. His voice was tired. He had not slept in days. 42, Elder," replied his assistant. "But they cannot fight. Our weapons do not work on these creatures." Pavalon closed his eyes. 42 ships. They once had over 300. The Ravagers destroyed them all in just 3 months. The Velen Consortium was dying. His people, peaceful and kind for thousands of years, had no idea how to fight. They built beautiful cities, made incredible art, and studied the stars. But now the stars had sent them monsters. "There is one option," said Ambassador Kix. He walked into the room slowly. Everyone turned to look at him. "The humans." The room went silent. Someone dropped a data pad. The sound echoed in the quiet. "No," said another council member. "Not them. Anything but them." "We have no choice," Kix said firmly. "Every species in the galaxy refuses to help us. They say the Ravagers are too dangerous. But the humans come from Earth." Everyone knew about Earth. It was a nightmare world. The planet tried to kill everything that lived on it. Ice ages, volcanoes, earthquakes, deadly predators, diseases. The humans survived it all. They even fought each other for thousands of years. The galaxy called Earth a Class 12 death world. No other species came from anything higher than Class 6. "They will kill us all," whispered the council member. "The Ravagers will kill us first," Pavalon said quietly. He looked at Kix. "Contact them. Beg if you must." Kix nodded and left the room. 2 days later, Kix arrived at Earth's orbital station. His ship was small and fast. It passed human defense satellites that looked old but deadly. Everything human looked deadly. The station itself was built like a fortress, thick metal walls, weapon ports everywhere, warning signs in human languages. A human met him at the docking bay. Kix tried not to shake. The human was tall, very tall. Humans always were. They had heavy bones and thick muscles because Earth's gravity was so strong. This human wore a simple uniform, but moved with confidence that scared Kix. "Ambassador Kix?" the human asked. His voice was deep. Yes," Kix managed to say. "Follow me. Director Chen is waiting." They walked through the station. Kix saw more humans. They all looked so calm, so sure of themselves. One human was carrying a heavy crate that would need 3 Velen to lift. She was not even struggling. Another human was eating something while reading reports, doing 2 things at once with no effort. The meeting room was simple: a table, chairs made for human bodies, a large screen on the wall. Director Chen stood when they entered. She was older with gray hair, but her eyes were sharp. "Ambassador Kix, welcome to Station Unity. Please, sit." Kix sat. The chair was too big for him. Everything human was too big. "Director Chen, thank you for seeing me. I come with a desperate plea from the Velen Consortium." "We know about the Ravagers," Chen said. "We have been watching." "Then you know we are dying. We need help. We need soldiers." Chen nodded slowly. "My government has already discussed this. We can send a team, small, specialized, led by one of our best." Kix felt hope for the first time in weeks. Thank you so much." "But understand," Chen said seriously, "our people are trained for war. They will do things that seem harsh to you. They will ask you to trust them even when you are afraid. Can your people handle that?" "We have no choice," Kix said. "Please, save us." Chen pressed a button on her desk. "Send in Captain Taemin." The door opened. Kix turned and saw a human male enter. He was not as tall as some humans, But something about him made the room feel smaller. He moved like a hunting cat. His eyes scanned everything in 1 second. He wore a dark uniform with many pockets and strange symbols. Ambassador Kix, this is Captain Taemin. He led our special operations team during the Frontier Wars. If anyone can help you, he can. Taemin bowed slightly. Ambassador, I am sorry for what your people are suffering. Show me everything about these Ravagers. I will need complete information. Kix activated his datapad. Images appeared on the big screen. The Ravagers were horrible to look at. Black, armored bodies, too many legs, mouths full of metal-like teeth, eyes that reflected no light. They destroy everything, Kix explained. Our energy weapons pass through them. Our shields do nothing. They adapt too fast. They are like a disease that thinks and hunts. Taemin watched the footage carefully. He saw Ravagers ripping through Velen ships. He saw them killing civilians. His face showed no emotion, but his eyes grew harder. How many ships attacked your colonies? Taemin asked. Hundreds, maybe thousands. They keep coming. And their tactics? They swarm. They overwhelm. They never stop. Taemin nodded. I will need 4 more people. My choice. We leave in 24 hours. 5 people? Ki could not believe it. Only 5 humans against thousands of Ravagers? 5 is enough, Taemin said. We are human. We know how to hunt. The next day, Ki watched as Taemin's team assembled. First came Dr. Hai Jin, a woman with kind eyes who carried medical equipment and scientific tools. Then Sergeant Wu Jin, a huge human who made even other humans look small. He loaded boxes of weapons onto their ship. Strange weapons, metal and chemicals, not energy. Lieutenant Yuna arrived next, younger than the others but moving with the same dangerous confidence. She went straight to the pilot's seat. Finally, Technician Sang-woo came, quiet and thin, carrying computer equipment that glowed with unfamiliar code. This is my team, Taemin said to Kix. They have fought pirates, rebels, and worse. They will fight for your people now. Why? Kix asked. Why do you help us? The galaxy fears you, hates you. Taemin looked at him. Because you asked. Because your people cannot fight but deserve to live. Because humans know what it is like to face extinction and survive. He picked up his rifle. We are from Earth, Ambassador. We know monsters. We are very good at killing them. Their ship launched an hour later. It was black and quiet, designed for stealth. As it jumped to faster-than-light speed, Kix sent a message to Elder Pavalon. The humans are coming. May the stars protect us all. Pavalon read the message and looked at the sky. He did not know if he should hope or fear. The Deathworlders were coming to help, but Deathworlders were still terrifying, even when they were on your side. The Ravagers were at the edge of the system now. In 3 days, they would reach the homeworld. The humans would arrive in 2. Aliens begged, and Deathworlders took action. Part 2. The human ship arrived in silence. No fanfare, no announcement. One moment the space was empty, and the next moment the black vessel was there, like a shadow appearing in bright light. Velen's sensors barely detected it. Elder Pavalon stood in the landing bay with 50 guards. Every guard was shaking. They held ceremonial weapons that had never been used in actual combat. Velen did not fight. They did not know how. Remember, Pavalon told his guards, they are here to help. Do not show fear. But when the ship's door opened and the 5 humans stepped out, fear was all anyone felt. Taemin came first. He wore dark armor that looked flexible but strong. Strange weapons hung from his belt and back. His boots made heavy sounds on the metal floor. Each step was controlled, purposeful. He scanned the room with those sharp human eyes, seeing everything, missing nothing. The other humans followed. Hyejin smiled at the Velen, trying to look friendly. It did not help. Her teeth were too white, too perfect. Humans were predators. Their eyes faced forward to track prey. Their mouths could open wide. Everything about them screamed danger. Wu Jin was the worst. He was massive, carrying so much equipment that 3 Velen working together could not lift it. His arms were thick with muscle. When he set down a weapons case, the floor shook. "Elder Pavillon," Tae Min said. He bowed in the Velen style. "Thank you for receiving us. We are here to help your people." Pavillon tried to speak. His mouth was dry. "Captain Tae Min, welcome to Velen Prime. We are grateful. Show us the situation room. We need to understand the threat completely." They walked through the city to the command center. Citizens saw the humans and ran. Parents grabbed their children and went inside buildings. Shop owners closed their doors. The humans pretended not to notice, but Hyojin looked sad. "They are afraid of us," she said quietly to Tae Min in their language. "I know. We will earn their trust." The Situation Room had a massive display showing the entire system. Red dots marked Ravager positions. Blue dots were Velen ships and colonies. There was so much red, so little blue. "Tell us about your defenses," Tae Min said. A Velen officer stepped forward. "We have 42 ships. They have shield technology and energy weapons. But the Ravagers seem immune. Our weapons pass through their armor somehow." "Biological adaptation," Hyojin said. She was looking at Ravager data on her tablet. "They change their body chemistry to absorb energy. Incredible. But that means they have a weakness." "What weakness?" Pavillon asked desperately. "Physical damage. Kinetic force. They adapted to energy weapons, but we do not use energy weapons." She gestured to the cases Wu Jin had brought. "We use bullets, explosives, old-fashioned, simple, and very effective." Sang Wu was already connecting his equipment to the Velen systems. "Your security is terrible," he said bluntly. "I can rewrite your defensive protocols, add human combat algorithms. It will help." "There is a mining colony on the 4th moon," the Velen officer said. "The Ravagers will attack it in 8 hours. Our projections show we cannot save it. We are evacuating now." Tae Min studied the map. "What is the colony's population?" 2,000 civilians, mostly families." "Cancel the evacuation," Tae Min said. Everyone stared at him. "Excuse me?" Pavillon said. "Cancel it. We will defend the colony. Use it as a test. Let the Ravagers come. We will see how they fight." "You are insane," a council member said. 5 humans cannot fight thousands of Ravagers." Tae Min smiled. It was not a nice smile. "Watch us." 6 hours later, Yuna landed their ship at the mining colony. The Velen workers watched in terror as the 5 humans unloaded equipment. Wu Jin set up large weapons on tripods. Sang Wu placed small devices around the perimeter. He Jin prepared a medical station. Tae Min called the colony leader over. "Keep your people in the main building. Seal all doors. Do not come out no matter what you hear." "But Captain, you are only 5 people." "We are 5 humans," Tae Min corrected. "We have fought worse odds. Trust us." The Ravagers arrived exactly when predicted. They came in a black wave, hundreds of them, pouring across the moon's surface like living oil. Their many legs moved in perfect rhythm. Their mouths opened, showing those metal teeth. They made sounds that hurt to hear. The Velen watching from the command center on the homeworld went silent. This was a massacre. 5 humans would die in seconds. But the humans did not run. Tae Min spoke into his communication device. "Wu Jin, you have long range. Start when ready." "Copy that." The big weapons opened fire. Not energy beams. Physical bullets, hundreds per second, tearing through Ravager bodies. The creatures screamed. Their armor, so effective against energy weapons, shattered under kinetic impact. Black blood sprayed across the ground. "They are adapting," Hyojin said, watching her scanner. "Their armor is thickening." "Then we change tactics," Tae Min said. "Yuna, Hit the flanks. Yuna moved like wind. She ran to the side, faster than any Velen could believe. She carried a smaller weapon and fired in short, controlled bursts. Each burst hit a Ravager in the joints, the weak points in their armor. She moved constantly, never staying in one place. The Ravagers tried to surround them. It was their standard tactic. Overwhelm the enemy from all sides. "Here they come," Sang-Woo said. He pressed a button. The small devices he had placed exploded. Not big explosions. Smart ones. They created barriers of fire and shrapnel exactly where the Ravagers were trying to move. The creatures could not adapt fast enough. Dozens fell. "They are learning," Taemin said. "Getting smarter. Good. Let's see how fast they learn this." He ran forward, directly at the Ravagers. The Velen watching gasped. He was committing suicide, but Taemin did not look afraid. He looked focused. He fired his weapon while running. Each shot hit a Ravager's head. When his weapon emptied, he dropped it and pulled out another from his back. He never stopped moving, never stopped shooting. He slid under a Ravager's attack, rolled, came up shooting. "This is impossible," whispered Elder Pavalon, watching from the command center. "How is he not dead?" "Because he is human," Kik said quietly. "They come from a world that tries to kill them every day. They learn to move like this to survive." Hyojin was not fighting. She was studying. "The hive is confused," she said, reading Ravager biosigns. "They have never faced this. They do not know how to adapt to unpredictability." "That is our advantage," Taemin said, breathing hard but steady. "We do not fight like machines. We improvise. We adapt faster than they can." The battle lasted 2 hours. When it ended, 300 Ravagers lay dead. The 5 humans stood among the bodies, tired but alive. Wu Jin had a small cut on his arm. Yuna's armor had a dent. That was all. The mining colony was untouched. Every civilian was safe. The Velen could not believe what they had just seen. "Did you record all of that?" Pavalon asked his officer. "Yes, Elder. Every second. Send it to every world in the consortium. Let them see what humans can do." Back at the human ship, Hyojin treated Wu Jin's minor wound. He barely noticed it. "That was a good fight," he said. "That was the easy part," Taemin replied. "They will adapt now. Next time will be harder." "But we proved something," Yuna said. She was cleaning her weapon with practiced efficiency. "We proved they can be killed." Sang-Woo was analyzing the battle data. "The Ravagers communicate through a biosignal. If I can disrupt it, we can confuse their entire hive." "How long do you need?" Taemin asked. 2 days, maybe 3. "You have 1 day. They will attack again soon, and they will be angry." That night, Elder Pavalon sent a message to all Velen worlds. "The humans have drawn first blood. For the first time, we have hope. The Deathworlders are with us." All across the consortium, Velen people watched the battle footage. They watched 5 humans do what entire fleets could not do. They watched predators become protectors. They were still afraid of the humans, but now they were glad those humans were on their side. In the darkness of space, the Ravager hive mind stirred. It had felt pain. It did not understand pain. It did not understand these new prey that fought back so effectively. The hive mind decided to send more ships, many more. The real battle was about to begin. Aliens begged, and Deathworlders took action. Part 3. 3. Velen colonies woke up to find human defense plans on their computers. Sang-Woo had worked through the night, sending instructions to every settlement in the system. The plans were strange, aggressive. They told civilians to build barriers, set traps, and create defensive positions. Things the peaceful Velen had never considered. "This is not our way," one colony leader complained to Elder Pavalon. "It is the human way," Pavalon replied, "and the human way is keeping us alive. Follow their instructions." At the command center, Taemin stood before a holographic map with the Velen military commanders. More Ravager ships had entered the system during the night. Many more. "They are grouping here." Taemin pointed at a spot near the gas giant. "This is their staging area. They are preparing a major attack." "How many ships?" a commander asked. "At least 500, maybe more." The Velen commanders looked at each other in despair. 500 Ravager ships meant millions of creatures. "We should evacuate the system," one suggested, "while we still can." "No," Taemin said firmly. "If you run, they will follow. If you run, you will die tired. We stand and fight." "With what?" "We cannot fight them all." "Then we do not fight them all." Taemin zoomed the map to show the Ravager staging area. "We cut off the head. The Ravagers are a hive mind. Somewhere in that fleet is a queen ship, a central intelligence. We kill that, and the rest will fall apart." Hyejin stepped forward. She had dark circles under her eyes from lack of sleep, but her voice was strong. "I have analyzed their biosignals. The Queen ship will be in the center of the fleet, protected by hundreds of drones. It is sending out constant commands. If we disrupt those commands even for a few minutes, the hive will panic." "We cannot reach the center of their fleet," a Velen commander said. "It is impossible." Wu Jin laughed. It was a deep, rumbling sound. "Velen definition of impossible, not human definition." "You want to fly into the middle of 500 enemy ships?" another commander asked in disbelief. "Yes," Taemin said simply. "Yuna can do it." Yuna was sitting on a crate, eating something from Earth. She did not look worried. "I can get us there. Getting out will be the hard part." "You will all die," the commander said. "Maybe," Taemin admitted, "but humans do not fear death. We fear living while others suffer. Your people asked for help. We give everything we have." Elder Pavalon, who had been listening quietly, spoke up. "Captain, you have already done so much. You proved the Ravagers can be killed. That is enough. Do not throw away your lives." Taemin looked at the old Velen with respect. "Elder, on Earth we have a saying. The only way to stop a predator is to become a bigger predator. We are going hunting. The question is, will your people support us?" Pavalon looked at his commanders. Then he stood straighter. "Tell us what you need." The plan was insane. Even by human standards, it was insane. But humans specialized in insane plans that somehow worked. Sang Wu would launch his signal disruptor from a Velen ship, drawing Ravager attention. While the hive was confused, Yuna would fly the human stealth ship through the chaos. They would dock with the Queen ship, fight their way to the Queen herself, plant explosives, and escape before detonation. "Simple," Wu Jin said, "loading enough explosives to destroy a moon." "That is not simple," a Velen engineer said, watching him work. "For humans it is." Hyejin was preparing medical supplies for injuries she knew were coming. A young Velen assistant watched her work. "Doctor, are you not afraid?" the assistant asked. "I am terrified," Hyejin answered honestly. "But fear is not the enemy. Giving up is the enemy." Humans learned long ago that fear is just information. It tells us to be careful, to be smart. It does not tell us to stop. The assistant looked at the medical equipment. "Why do you have so many supplies for treating blood loss?" "Because humans bleed a lot, but take a long time to die. Our bodies are very stubborn." "That sounds horrible." Hyejin smiled sadly. "It is a gift from Earth. Our world tried to kill us, so we evolved to be very hard to kill. Now we use that gift to protect others." Launch time came. The 5 humans boarded their ship. Hundreds of Velen had gathered to watch. Some brought flowers, a Velen tradition for honoring those who would not return. They placed them near the ship. Taemin saw the flowers and understood. He bowed deeply to the crowd. His team did the same. "If we do not return," Taemin said through a translator, Know that humans died doing what we do best, fighting for those who cannot fight for themselves. Yuna started the engines. The ship lifted silently. In orbit, Sang-woo launched his disruptor from a Velen cruiser. The device broadcast a signal that mimicked the Queen's biofrequency, but with random variations. To the Ravagers, it was like hearing their mother's voice saying contradictory commands. The hive mind began to panic. Ravager ships broke formation. Some attacked each other. Some froze in space, confused. "Now!" Taemin said. Yuna launched the ship into the chaos at full speed. She flew like a dancer, spinning between Ravager vessels, diving under weapons fire, rolling through spaces that seemed too small. The Velen, watching from their command center, could not breathe. "She is going to crash," someone whispered. But Yuna did not crash. She never crashed. On Earth, she had learned to fly through thunderstorms, between mountains, under enemy radar. This was just another Tuesday for her. They reached the Queen's ship. It was massive, 10 times larger than any other Ravager vessel. Black and organic, covered in armor plates that shifted and moved. It looked alive, because it was alive. Yuna docked with a hard clang. "We are in. May Earth watch over us." The airlock opened. The inside of the Queen's ship was dark and wet. The walls moved. They were inside a living creature. "Stay together," Taemin ordered. "Watch every direction." They moved through the organic corridors. Ravager drones appeared from the walls. Wu Jin's weapon fired, the sound deafening in the enclosed space. Ravagers fell. More came. Yuna threw a grenade. The explosion made the whole ship shake. "The Queen is 2 levels down," Yejin said, reading her scanner. "But there are hundreds of drones between us and her." "Then we go through them," Taemin said. What followed was the most brutal fighting the humans had faced. The corridors were narrow, limiting their movement. Ravagers came from every direction. Wu Jin took position at choke points, his massive weapon creating walls of bullets that nothing could pass. Yuna moved ahead, clearing rooms with efficiency born from years of training. Sang-woo hacked into the ship's biosystems, causing sections to seal, trapping Ravagers away from them. Taemin led from the front, his weapon never stopping. He took a claw to the shoulder. Blood ran down his armor. He barely slowed down. "Captain, you are wounded," Hye-jin called. "Later," he replied, shooting 2 Ravagers that dropped from the ceiling. They reached the Queen's chamber. The door was massive, made of the same organic material as the ship. Wu Jin placed explosives. The blast opened the door and they rushed inside. The Queen was enormous. Her body filled the chamber, a grotesque combination of insect and machine. Thousands of eggs lined the walls. Smaller Ravagers swarmed around her, protecting their mother. "Plant the explosives on her body," Taemin ordered. "We have 5 minutes." But the Queen was not helpless. She screamed, a sound that made the humans' ears bleed. Her guards attacked in waves. Wu Jin and Yuna held the entrance while Taemin and Sang-woo ran to the Queen's body with the explosives. The Queen struck at Taemin with a massive claw. He rolled under it, came up, and fired directly into her eye. She screamed again. Sang-woo planted the first explosive on her underbelly. "Timer set." 4 minutes, Sang-woo reported. Hye-jin was treating Wu Jin's arm. He had been cut badly but refused to leave his position. "Just tape it," he said. "I can still fight." They planted the final explosives, 3 minutes remaining. "Fall back," Tae-min ordered. "Everyone out." They ran. Behind them, the Queen's screams echoed through the ship. Ravagers chased them, but fewer now. The hive mind was breaking down. They reached the airlock. Yuna had kept the ship ready. They jumped inside. Yuna launched immediately, pulling away from the Queen's ship at maximum speed. 2 minutes, Sang-woo said. The Ravagers tried to chase them, but Yuna was already diving through their fleet, using larger ships as cover. The Velen watching saw the small human ship weaving through impossible spaces, death following inches behind. 1 minute, they cleared the fleet. 30 seconds. They were in open space now. Una aimed the ship toward the Velen fleet and pushed the engines beyond safe limits. The explosives detonated. The Queen ship exploded from the inside. The blast was massive, a miniature sun blooming in space. The shockwave hit nearby Ravager ships, destroying dozens. The Queen's death scream echoed through the hive mind. And then, silence. Every Ravager in the system stopped moving. Aliens begged, and Deathworlders took action. Part 4. The silence was wrong. Space battles were loud with weapons fire, explosions, and screaming communication channels. But now, everything was quiet. 500 Ravager ships floated in space, still and dark. "Are they dead?" a Velen commander asked. "No," Hyejin replied, studying her readings. "The hive mind is broken. They are confused, lost, like children without their mother. But they are still dangerous." On the human ship, Taemin was being treated by Hyejin. The wound on his shoulder was deep. She worked quickly, her hands steady despite the adrenaline still pumping through her system. "You need to rest," she told him. "No time," he said. "We finish this now, while they are vulnerable." "Captain, you have lost a lot of blood." "I have more." He stood up, testing his patched shoulder. Pain flashed across his face, but he ignored it. "Humans can function with one good arm. I still have two." Wu Jin's arm was bandaged heavily, but he was already checking his weapons. "The big ones are still working," he said, meaning his mounted guns. "That is all I need." Una had a bruise on her face and a cut above her eye, but she was more concerned with her ship. "The engines are stressed. I pushed them too hard, but they will hold for one more mission." "One more should be enough," Taemin said. He activated the communication channel to the Velen command center. "Elder Pavillon, can you hear me?" "Captain, thank the stars, you are alive. We saw the explosion." "We are alive, and the Queen is dead. But we need your fleet to move now. The Ravagers are disorganized. This is your chance to push them out of the system." There was a pause. "Captain, our people do not know how to fight." "Then it is time they learned. The Ravagers are wounded, confused. They will run if you press them. Send your ships forward. We will guide you." Another pause. Then, "Understood. The fleet is moving." 42 Velen ships began to advance. It was not a military formation. They moved hesitantly, uncertain. But they were moving. Taemin opened a channel to all Velen ships. "This is Captain Taemin. Listen carefully. You do not need to be warriors to win this battle. You just need to be brave. The Ravagers are afraid now. They are running from you. Show them you will not be prey anymore." On the Velen command ships, captains looked at each other. They had spent their whole lives avoiding conflict. But their colonies were destroyed. Their people were dead. And 5 humans had just flown into the heart of an enemy fleet and won. "Weapons ready," one Velen captain said. "Target the nearest Ravager ship." "But Captain, we have never fired on—" "Today we learn." The Velen fleet opened fire. Their energy weapons, useless against active Ravager armor, now struck confused and vulnerable ships. The Ravagers, without central command, could not coordinate their defenses. Ships began to explode, but some Ravagers were adapting faster than others. 3 large ships turned toward the Velen fleet, their weapons powering up. "I see them," Una said. She was already moving the human ship to intercept. "Wu Jin, you ready?" "Always." The human ship, small and fast, flew between the Velen fleet and the approaching Ravagers. Wu Jin opened fire. His weapons, designed for planetary bombardment, tore into the Ravager vessels. One ship broke apart. Another tried to return fire, but Una was already moving, making the ship an impossible target. "Left flank," Sang Wu warned. 6 Ravager fighters had broken off from the main group and were diving toward a wounded Velen cruiser. Tai Min made a decision. "Yuna, get us there. That is on the other side of the battlefield." "Then fly faster." Yuna smiled. It was a wild smile. "Hold on." The ship accelerated so hard that even the humans felt the pressure. They crossed the battlefield in seconds. Tai Min opened the side door while they were still moving. "Are you insane?" He-Jin yelled. "Probably," he replied. He aimed his rifle and fired at the Ravager fighters while hanging out of a moving spacecraft. 3 shots. 3 fighters exploded. The remaining fighters broke off, fleeing. For the first time in the war, Ravagers were running from someone other than humans. The Velen cruiser sent a message. "Human ship, you saved us. Thank you." "Protect your people," Tai Min replied. "We will handle the rest." The battle lasted 6 more hours. The Velen fleet, guided by human tactics and supported by human firepower, pushed the Ravagers back. Ships that had terrorized the consortium for months were now fleeing in disorder, but the humans were paying a price. Tai Min's shoulder wound had reopened. Wu Jin's arm was barely functional. Yuna had pushed the ship's engines so hard that smoke was filling the cockpit. Sang Wu's systems were overheating from constant use. Jin was running between them, treating injuries while calling out tactical information. She was a doctor, not a soldier, but Earth had taught her to do many things at once. "Last group," Sang Wu reported. 20 ships heading for the jump point. If they escape, they might regroup. "We cannot let them spread," Tai Min said. "If they tell other Ravager hives about us, more will come." "Captain, the ship cannot take much more," Yuna said. Warning lights covered her console. "One more run, just one." Yuna looked at her team. They were exhausted, wounded, barely standing, but none of them said no. They were human. They did not quit. "One more run," she agreed. The ship screamed as Yuna pushed it beyond all limits. They intercepted the fleeing Ravagers at the jump point. Wu Jin fired everything he had left. Tai Min, Yuna, even Jin fired hand weapons through the gun ports. The battle was desperate, close, violent. 3 Ravager ships made it through and jumped away. 17 did not. "That is all of them," Sang Wu said. "The system is clear." Yuna tried to bring the ship back to the homeworld, but the engines were failing. Red lights everywhere, smoke filling the cabin. "We are going down," she said calmly. "Hold on to something." The ship fell into Velen Prime's atmosphere. It was not a landing. It was a controlled crash. Yuna aimed for an open field outside the capital city. The ship hit hard, bounced, skidded across the ground for 100 meters, and finally stopped. For a moment, nobody moved. Then Tai Min checked his team. "Everyone alive?" "Alive," Wu Jin confirmed. "Alive," said Yuna. "Alive," He-Jin said. "Alive," Sang Wu added. "But I am never flying with her again." Yuna laughed, despite the pain. "You loved it." The ship's door was jammed. Wu Jin, even with his injured arm, kicked it open. They stumbled out into Velen sunlight. The field was surrounded by thousands of Velen who had come to see what crashed. For a moment, the Velen just stared. The 5 humans looked terrible, covered in blood, both their own and Ravager. Armor broken, weapons empty. They could barely stand. Then one Velen began to clap, then another, then hundreds, then thousands. The sound rolled across the field like thunder. The Velen were cheering. Elder Pavillon pushed through the crowd. He looked at the humans with tears in his eyes. In Velen culture, tears meant deep respect. "You did it," he said. "The system is clear. The Ravagers are gone. You saved us all." Tai Min tried to bow, but nearly fell. He-Jin caught him. "We did what we came to do," he said simply. Pavillon gestured, and medical teams rushed forward. Not human doctors, but Velen. They were gentle, careful, treating the humans with reverence. "Come," Pavillon said. "You need rest. You have earned it 1,000 times over." That night, the Velen held a ceremony, not a military parade, a Velen ceremony of eternal gratitude. They gave each human a crystal, a rare gem from their world's core. It meant the holder would always be welcome, always be honored, always be family. Tai Min accepted his crystal and held it up to the light. It shone like a small star. "On Earth," he said, "we have a saying. We are stronger together than apart. Today, Velen and humans proved that. You stood and fought when you thought you could not. You found courage you did not know you had." He looked at Elder Pavalon. "You did not need us to save you. You needed us to show you that you could save yourselves." Pavalon smiled. "Perhaps, but we are glad you were here anyway." The celebration lasted until dawn, but the humans knew their work was not quite finished. 3 Ravager ships had escaped. Somewhere in the galaxy, they were spreading the news. Humans had entered the war, and humans won. The galaxy was about to change. Aliens begged, and Deathworlders took action. Part 5. News traveled fast across the galaxy. Within days, every species knew what happened at Velen Prime. 5 humans had destroyed a Ravager fleet that had conquered dozens of worlds. The story grew with each telling, becoming legend. Some species were impressed. Others were terrified. Most were confused. Humans had been isolated for decades, considered too dangerous for galactic society. Now they were heroes. On Earth, the government received thousands of messages. Some asked for help. Some demanded humans stay in their own system. Some wanted to form alliances. Director Chen read through them all with a tired smile. "We tried to stay hidden," she said to her assistant. "Now everyone knows what we can do." "Is that bad?" "I do not know yet." At Velen Prime, the humans had stayed for 2 weeks, recovering from their injuries. The Velen people had changed during that time. They no longer ran when they saw humans. Children came up to Wu Jin and asked to touch his armor. Scientists asked Ye Jin 1,000 questions about Earth. Young Velen asked Yuna to teach them to fly. Taemin spent most of his time with Elder Pavalon, discussing the future. "We want to learn from you," Pavalon said, "not just how to fight, but how to be strong, how to face fear and not run from it." "Strength is not just about fighting," Taemin replied. "Your people are already strong. You create beautiful things. You value peace. You care for each other. Those are strengths too. You just needed to add one more strength, the will to defend what you love. Will you teach us?" Taemin thought about it. He had a duty to Earth, to his people. But he also felt responsible for the Velen now. "I will send a message to my government. Perhaps we can arrange something." The answer came 3 days later. Earth approved. They would send teachers, trainers, and advisors to the consortium. Not an army, not an occupation, a partnership. "This is new for us," the message said. "We have spent so long being afraid that others feared us. Now we have a chance to be something more. We will try." On the day the humans prepared to leave, thousands of Velen gathered at the spaceport. Their ship had been repaired, upgraded with some Velen technology, and a lot of human ingenuity. It looked better than before. Wu Jin loaded the last equipment. His arm was mostly healed, though Hyojin had told him to be careful with it for another month. He would ignore that advice, of course. Humans were not good at being careful. Yuna ran through the flight checks. She was excited to fly again. "The engines purr like a Earth cat," she said happily. Sang-Woo was transferring data to the Velen Defense Network. "I left you some programs," he told a Velen technician. "They will help protect your systems, but you should study them and improve them. Do not just rely on human technology. Make it your own." The technician nodded seriously. "I will. Thank you for trusting us with this knowledge." Hyejin was saying goodbye to the medical staff she had worked with. "You are good doctors," she told them. "You care about your patients. That is the most important thing, The rest is just training. A Velen doctor gave her a data chip. This contains all our medical knowledge, a gift. Perhaps it will help you someday. Hejin accepted it with a bow. It will. Thank you. Taemin stood with Elder Pavalon one last time. The old Velen looked different now, stronger, more confident. You changed us, Pavalon said. In just a few weeks, you changed everything we thought we knew about ourselves. No, Taemin replied. We just showed you what was already there. Courage, determination, the will to protect your loved ones. Those things were always inside your people. They just needed a reason to come out. Still, we are grateful. If you ever need anything at all, the consortium will help. You have our word. And you have ours. If you call, we will come. They shook hands. It was a human gesture, but Pavalon had learned it meant trust and respect. The 5 humans boarded their ship. As they lifted off, the Velen below waved. Some cried. All of them felt like they were saying goodbye to family. Next stop, home, Yuna said, setting the course for Earth. Home, Wu Jin agreed. I miss Earth food. Real food. Not these nutrition packets. I miss Earth gravity, Sang-Woo said. Everything here felt too light. Hyejin was quiet, looking back at the planet shrinking behind them. I will miss them, she said softly. We will see them again, Taemin assured her. This is not goodbye. This is just the beginning. 4 months later, in a different part of the galaxy, a new distress signal reached Earth. The Korthan Unity, a species of peaceful traders, was being attacked by pirates. Their ships were being destroyed, their people taken as slaves. They had heard about what humans did at Velen Prime. Please, their message said, we need help. We have nothing to offer except our gratitude, but we are desperate. Can you help us? Director Chen called a meeting. Taemin and his team were there, rested and ready. But Chen also brought in 10 other teams, 20 teams, 50 teams. Earth had decided to stop hiding. The galaxy knows about us now, Chen said. We cannot pretend to be weak anymore, but we can choose what we want to be. Do we want to be feared, or do we want to be trusted? Both, Taemin said. The galaxy should fear what happens when they threaten the innocent, and they should trust that we will defend those who cannot defend themselves. Chen smiled. Then we have work to do. The message went out across the galaxy. Earth was opening its borders, not for conquest, not for profit, for protection. Any species that needed help could ask. Earth would answer. Some species rejected this offer immediately. We do not trust the Deathworlders, they said, but others remembered Velen Prime. They remembered 5 humans fighting an army. They remembered humans choosing to protect instead of dominate. We trust them, these species said. Slowly, carefully, humans began to spread across the galaxy. Not as conquerors, as defenders, as teachers, as friends. It was not always easy. Humans had to learn to be gentle when their instincts told them to be strong. They had to learn patience when they wanted to act. They had to learn that not every problem could be solved with violence. But they learned. Because humans were good at adapting. That was their gift from Earth. Their terrible, beautiful, deadly gift. 2 years after Velen Prime, Taemin received a message. It was from Elder Pavalon. Captain, I thought you would want to know. We have graduated our first class of Velen defenders. They are not warriors like you. They are defenders like you. They protect, they do not conquer. They stand for those who cannot stand. They learned that from humans. The message continued. Also, the Korthan Unity sends their thanks. I hear you saved them too. And the Pilian Collective, and the Reston Commonwealth. How many species have you helped now? Taemin smiled as he read. Too many to count, he said to himself. The galaxy is changing, Pavalon's message concluded. Because of humans. Because 5 of you decided to answer when we begged for help. Thank you, Captain. Thank you for showing us that strength and kindness can exist together, that the most dangerous beings can also be the most compassionate. Taemin saved the message. Then he looked at his team. They were older now. Woojin had some gray in his hair. Hyejin wore glasses for reading. Yuna had a small scar above her eye that never quite healed. Sang-woo had laugh lines around his eyes. But they were still ready, still willing, still human. New mission? Woojin asked, seeing the look on Taemin's face. Always, Taemin replied. They gathered their equipment, boarded their ship, and launched into space. Somewhere out there, someone needed help. Someone was calling for the Deathworlders, and the Deathworlders would answer. They always would. The galaxy learned 3 important lessons from humanity. First, that strength comes in many forms: physical power, mental resilience, emotional courage. Earth had given humans all 3. Second, that the most dangerous beings are not always the most cruel. Humans could kill efficiently and without mercy, but they chose mercy when they could. They chose protection over destruction. Third, and most important, that when someone asks for help, you answer. You do not calculate profit. You do not measure risk. You simply answer. Because that is what good people do. The aliens had begged. The Deathworlders had taken action. And the galaxy was better for it. In the end, humanity's reputation changed from the terrifying species from the Death World to the terrifying species from the Death World who will die to protect you. It was still terrifying, but now it was also comforting. Because when the monsters came, humans would be there, standing between the innocent and the darkness, fighting with everything they had, refusing to give up, refusing to run, refusing to let evil win. That was the human way. That was the way of Earth's children. And the galaxy learned to be grateful for it.